All right, let's do some quick warm up. How do you know if your ex still loves you? This is a question I got. Again, you can send me this kind of question, random questions like this. You can send them to, you know, ask at manofprestige.com. That's where you can send those kind of questions, okay? Someone is asking, how do you know if your ex still loves you? And I wanted to get your take on it. What do you think? How do you know? Right? Some of you have been there where your ex is still snooping around. You're trying to figure things out. Maybe you are paying attention too. How do you know if your ex is still in love with you? Any signs? Any signs that you guys can share? Because clearly this person is I don't know why they'll be interested. I would want to know, like, why do you want to know? Why do you want to know if your ex still loves you or is still in love with you, whatever you want to call it? What would you say? Anybody want to chime in on this conversation in the chat before I take a dive at it? If you're asking this question, clearly there's some level of interest for you as well. Because I don't know why you would care or even pay enough attention to know that. Like, why would you care enough to want to know that? But I get it. Sometimes you're fantasizing about what was, could have, should have, would have been, right? A lot of people try to act like this is simple stuff. It's not. It's complicated for some people. If it's easy for you, sometimes it's complicated for some people, just so you know. Just FYI. How do you know if your ex still loves you? I think it's very important that we first acknowledge that there's some level of interest on your part too, right? Very, very important that we note that. Because if not, you wouldn't care. But clearly you care. Right? Clearly you care. So how do you know? What is this? Let me see. I wonder what the hell this is. Hey, are we still on for tomorrow? Do we have anything due this week? Good morning. All right, so there's some people that keep calling people exes and they're still exchanging text messages like this. That will be your clue. If they're still exchanging text messages with you, yes, there's a good chance. And not just that your ex still loves you, but probably there's some kind of affection left in there for you as well, which is why you're still engaged with them. So, like I said, we covered a topic like this not too long ago, right? So, maybe it wasn't that bad in the first place, right? Maybe it wasn't that bad, but maybe it's that bad. Maybe you're in a toxic situation. Maybe you are attached to a toxic situation. There are many, many signs you could see. I don't know, but if it wasn't that bad and the person wants you, that is a very rare thing. As long as there's no kind of abuse going on, and if you know that you're not sure if the behaviors you're seeing are abusive, sometimes people are not sure. If you know that you're not sure, then you should probably seek counsel of some sort. Yeah, you should probably seek some kind of counsel, because you're right now, because there's some kind of space, you might not be able to reflect very well on what the worst case scenario was. Maybe you're reflecting on, but again, if you talk to someone, maybe they can help you. But this kind of question is very hard to answer when we don't know your specific story. We don't have enough about your specific story, so it can be very difficult to answer this kind of questions. Okay, but usually it's because there's some lingering around each other that's still going on. You're still, number one sign. I'll give you a first sign. Okay, first sign: there's frequent communication between the two of you. Okay, exchange of text messages, phone calls, and stuff like that is still going on between the two of you. So that's one. Okay. Also, if you tend to yield to that person, or they yield to you for emotional conversations, then that's your cue. That's another cue right there that you want to pay attention to. People spend time around or with what they value, right? So if you're noticing that that person is yielding to you, oftentimes for emotional conversation, let's say for example, you have a mutual friend and somebody is showing interest and they're always talking to you. There's a movie that my wife was watching with this story. I forgot who the actor was. Anyway, but they're always asking you advice about the next person they are dating, and you've dated this person before. This person is your ex. There's a good chance that they are still in love with you. All right, and also, okay. Thirdly, okay, that's number two, right? The second one is, you continue to have, they continue to yield to you for emotional support of some type. Okay, that's the second one. The first one is frequent exchange of communication between each other. You're still texting each other. Frequent exchange of messages, not communication. Messages, right? Messages, voice notes, forwarding stuff back and forth. They're always, yes. Especially if they're forwarding pictures of time that you spent together in the past. Yes, there's a good chance. Number three, okay? So frequent exchange of messages, emotional support. They're yielding to you for emotional support. Number three, okay? Somebody please help me type this out if you can, okay? Let me even do it now. Number one. What was number one? I'm forgetting as I'm coming up with it though. Okay, frequent exchange. Frequent exchange. Exchange of messages. All right. So again, there's no one particular sign that's everything end or be all. Maybe you're the one just feeling that way. Okay, so let's count it down. I'm gonna give you 5 as a matter of fact. Let me try to give you 5. I can think of 3 right now, but let me give you 5. All right, frequent exchange of messages. Right there. All right, so let's count it down. Number 4 would be, what did I say again? Number 4 would be okay, they yield to you for emotional support. All right, emotional support. They yield to you for emotional support. X yields, let me put X yields to you for emotional support. There you go. Aha, that would be number 4. Hopefully I get enough to count it all the way down to 1. Number 3, what did I just say? I think number 3 I said, okay, they kind of tend to get jealous, okay, because you guys are talking so much, but there's little signs of jealousy when you're talking about somebody else, even if it's not somebody you're declaring to show interest in. They show some kind of jealousy, or like they're hating on your friends or something like that. They're hating on potential romantic hating on new potential friendships, right? Especially if it's of the opposite gender, then that would be a good sign right there, right? All right. Let me think. Number 2, you guys are not helping me here, right? You just want me to say everything. Let me think. All right. Now, obviously, if they're still trying to initiate, okay, actively trying to rekindle, okay, actively trying to rekindle. Including subtle attempts. Okay, there you go. Including subtle attempts. All right. Some men will keep trying to have sex, by the way, and that's not necessarily trying to rekindle. Okay, maybe he's just horny that day. Just FYI. Okay, so that will be number 2. I need a strong number 1. Can somebody suggest a number 1? Shout out to all 14 of you watching me live. What we're talking about is, how do you know signs that your ex still loves you? That's what we're talking about. Maybe somebody can help me with the number one. My brain is a little bit not doing well today. Number 5, frequent exchange of messages, right? Number 4, your ex yields to you for emotional support. That's for sign. Number 3, jealousy, hating on new potential friendship. All right, that's another sign right there. And number 2, they're actively trying to rekindle, including subtle attempts. Okay, a nice subtle attempt is the time you spend a lot of time around you. Okay, all right. And Ziggy, shout out to Ziggy. Ziggy says they're always there when you need help. Okay, isn't that just because they're nice? Maybe not. That could be a good sign. Well, none of the signs, including the ones I gave, will be an absolute, right? But if you have 2 or 3 of these signs going on, that could be a good one. But that's a nice one, Ziggy. That's a nice one. All right. But I just thought of another one as I was waiting. Okay. If they are still, if you're hanging around each other, you're in the same circle, you're in the same church, you end up in the same school from time to time, at work. If they're still touchy-feely, okay, is that a thing? Oh, that's just my language. But you know what I mean. They're still touching and hands on shoulder, very, extended hugs and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be a sign that they still love you. Now, love is a very strong word. Maybe it should be more so. That we shouldn't really use the word love so loosely, right? Because just it's more so still in love with you. I'm gonna change it, okay, to still in love with you. All right, that's more so of affection, feelings, as opposed to love. Love is more of a stronger word that requires just much more than feelings, right? Requires much more than just, takes time to actually get in that space that you actually love a person. So let's use still in love with you more precisely. There you go. Okay, so let's do a quick recap before we move on today, because I got some other stuff to cover today. Frequent exchange of messages, that's number 1. Okay, number 5, we'll count it down. Number 4, the ex still yields to you for emotional support, which we can wrap Ziggy's point into this, which is they're always there when you need help. Okay, so you're yielding to each other. Let's even make it inclusive, right? All inclusive. Someone is, at least one person is yielding to the other person for emotional support. There's still some feelings going on there. Number 3, they are kind of jealous, right? Every time you're talking about, or potentially even just friend, but if they smell anything, especially of the opposite gender, if they feel some kind of energy going on there, they'll feel some type of way. And number 2, actively trying to rekindle, including subtle attempts. Okay, you know what the subtle attempts are. You know what they are, right? It's not cap, right? Shout out to Paula. Hello, Paula. How are you? And then number 1, they're still touchy-feely. Those are 5 signs, okay, that your ex is probably still in love with you. All right, so if you're watching this as a replay later on, do me a favor, add your own signs that you've seen into this, and then also tell me if there's any of the signs that you don't necessarily feel like, I want to hear your thoughts on this. What's going on, Gorex Corner? Welcome back. All right, so add your own to it and let me know what you think. I'll be back in about 20 seconds. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.